Oh, hello. I'm Sketch.
And I'm Shades.
And this is
Geeking Out Midstream.
Guys, welcome back to another Midstream. Welcome back, Shades.
Welcome back, Sketch. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, it's been a week, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Always good to be in the GO-Co.
It is.
When the real world gets a little hectic.
Yep, just doing a little work. Doing a little work on the old Shades mobile down in the garage.
Very good. Very good.
Getting a road ready.
One of many at this point.
One of many vehicles.
But still, I would say the pinnacle of your collection.
Oh, yes.
The Shades mobile.
Shades mobile. Kit 2000. T-Top. It has many names at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us as we are between locales. If you tuned in last week, you heard us talking about Spider-Man Far From Home.
It was a good time.
It was a good time. Affectionately known by those in the know as Night Monkey. Shades, anything you feel the need to correct or defend or further question on Spider-Man, or do you think you webbed it up nicely?
I think it's all webbed up nicely for local law enforcement, courtesy of your friendly neighborhood podcast.
Your friendly neighborhood podcast, your go-to Spider-Man podcast.
Yeah, your go-to Spider-Cast. Sketch, do you have anything that you want to take back, revisit? Do you stand by what you said?
I stand by everything I said. I'm still very pleased with the movie as a whole. But I did, in thinking about it, I did have one further question to ask.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert for anyone who didn't tune in last week or haven't seen Spider-Man. But what was Beck's end game? Like, how long was he going to survive doing what he was doing?
Yeah, I thought about that, Sketch. It's a major plot hole of the movie. I'm really not sure what his end game was, other than to tarnish Tony Stark's legacy and destroy Spider-Man's reputation, even if it killed him.
And I think it was going to. I mean, if he had continued with this ruse, basically the first time Fury, not Fury, called on him as an Avenger, he'd be dead.
Yes.
He'd be dead in any actual crisis that he didn't create himself.
Yes. Yeah. So there was no scenario in which he actually was able to do anything. Survives. Yeah. And just thinking about that a little bit more, that message where he reveals Peter's identity had to be pre-recorded, and Spider-Man, Peter standing in the background, had to be an illusion.
You think so?
Because when would that have taken place?
I think
because it's in the London Bridge.
It's in the
walkway.
London Bridge, and here's my stab at that question. I think it's when there's that big, burst of smoke after Spider-Man takes down the drones. I think he hastily records it as Spider-Man is on his approach, and then sends it off to his little second in command. Because if you remember, at the end of the movie, the second in command is like downloading something. And when I originally watched the movie, I was like, "What's that going to be?" And then I forgot about it until I was like, "Wait, that was unfulfilled." Then it dawned on me, "Oh wait, that was probably the recording
downloading
that
the
Beck
recording
just took." It was a little shrouded.
Yeah, I think it works either way. It's, in my opinion, it's still a major plot hole.
Thinking now that Beck would have died, I think that would be such an interesting take on a superhero. Like, if it did go through, and like in the next Avengers movie, he was there as an Avenger and just died immediately, and then this whole plot was uncovered.
That would be amazing.
I think that would have been a bold,
wow, that was
decision.
That was poor judgment, Fury.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Yep.
Psych.
Fury, not Fury.
Fury, not Fury.
Yep. All right, we're back to work.
You're the only one
You're
not
the only
working.
one taking a break. That's upper man.
Ah.
Yeah, but other than that, I think solid movie. I stand by everything I said. You think Jake Gyllenhaal has a stupid face?
Stupid
I still
face.
think very handsome man.
Stupid face.
And that's it. That's it until our next Spider-Man.
Well,
episode.
I do have one last piece of Spider-Man information.
Okay, is this from the movie in particular?
This is not. This is information that's come out about the Marvel Sony deal.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, this was recently released on MovieWeb, and I will link. I will link to that the article and I believe the New York Times piece that this was talked about in.
Okay.
This goes back to the Sony hack.
Oh yeah, way back
when they were negotiating this deal, these terms of agreement.
When was that? 2015?
Yes.
The Sony hack?
Yeah. Which was right around the time that this deal was inked. And here are the actual terms of the Sony Marvel agreement.
Okay.
Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man and all of its sequels. So these solo outings with Peter Parker and Spider-Man in the MCU, they have to earn $1 billion each, or Sony gets complete control of the Spider-Man property once again. Whoa. So not only do they get Spider-Man back, but they will get Tom Holland Spider-Man and will have complete creative control over all future Spider-Man movies if these films don't earn $1 billion at the box office. At last check, it's at 800 million.
Okay.
So no matter what side of this you're on, if you like what's happening, if you don't like what's happening, if you want to see Peter go back to Sony, if you want to see him stay in the MCU, I guess fingers crossed either way.
Yeah. We're just close. It could go either way at this point.
It could go either way at this point. And there's nothing to say that Sony couldn't say, hey, this is good for all of us. It didn't make $1 billion. Oh, well, keep doing what you're doing, Marvel. But they each studio has an equal say in what happens story-wise in these films. And if they fail to make $1 billion, Sony gets complete creative control back.
What an interesting contract.
Yes. I mean, all the way back to Spider-Man Homecoming, I am beyond fascinated with this deal. I don't know why, but it just tickles my funny bone. It gets my Peter tingle going.
Is your Peter tingling?
I see what you did there, Sketch.
Thank you.
Do you it sounded like you had a question there?
Yeah. Will you keep us up to date on this, on what Spider-Man does, like in our next midstream?
Yeah. I am.
I'll be very interested.
I am full tinfoil hat conspiracy wielding, pins in a bulletin board with yellow and red string. Interested in this.
Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah. I'm on it.
All right. Well, I think I speak for all longtime listeners when I say we look forward to hearing updates, because this is so unusual.
It's mind-boggling. And it's bonkers.
It is truly pretty fascinating.
I'm glad you think so, Sketch. Usually, like, when we talk about money, it's like, giant sums of money, giant studio deals. But this is like, these are two of the biggest studios left in the world. And it's mind-boggling that they were able to come to an agreement, and every little tidbit of the deal that I learn, I'm just mesmerized in a like Stranger Things upside down kind of way.
And don't get me wrong, when it comes to big sums of money, I'm still, but just the terms and conditions of this deal is just so unheard of to me. And maybe these are more commonplace, but I don't think so.
If they are commonplace, they are closely guarded and shrouded in Mysterio fog and illusions.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sketch, anything else going on in the Geeking Out universe that you wanted to talk about?
Not too much. I've had a fairly busy week since we were at the Spider Bunker. I went to my local annual anime convention. Or I guess it's more of a pop culture convention at this point. It was a good time.
Is this year 15?
Let's see. Let's do the math. My first year was 2003. So what does that make this?
It's 2019.
Mm-hmm. It is 2019. I guess I'm past 15. Huh?
Yeah, you're past
16 years.
16 years.
Wow.
Look,
I've never missed a year, and it was a good time, as it normally is.
I'm really bummed, Sketch. I was really hoping to make it out for at least a day, but all craziness unleashed on the sale of my parents' house, and
well, maybe for next year things will be calmed down for you a little bit.
I hope so.
You can make it out to it because it's a good time still. It's certainly changed. It's a little more family friendly than it used to be, which is totally fine with me because I am also a little more family friendly than I used to be.
That's true. Yeah.
And
did you bring Doodle?
Not this year, but the wife and I are planning to bring him next year for just one day, for Sunday.
Fantastic. That's a good day.
Yeah. And I've already bought my tickets for next year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. A little early bird special there. So yeah, but otherwise, I mean, I played some games. One of them is probably going to be a recommendation on an upcoming episode.
Cool.
I didn't really get to check out much anime, but the new season of anime has just started. And
cool.
I have not started any new shows, but I do have a couple on my list that I'm planning to watch based on recommendations from my strongest anime sensei. And I'm looking to watch Dr. Stone, Fire Force, and Vinland Saga. Those are the three I'm looking forward to watching.
Okay, cool.
Don't know much about them, but as I begin them, I'm sure I will fill you in.
Very cool. I look forward to those updates because I'm looking for a new show. I'm all caught up in Stranger Things season 3. I imagine we're going to do an episode on that, so I will save my thoughts. But on the overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was strong. I am in the show hole and went back and rewatched season 1 and season 2 as well. And I'll just say on my first viewing, I felt like it didn't really connect. After I went back and rewatched, I was shocked at how well threads that they began, plot lines that they began in the very first episode of the very first season played out in season 3. So it's not a recommendation. It's just a big, I'm just really impressed that they're still telling fantastically woven stories, even though I'm not always excited about how my characters grow and change. Yeah.
Well, my wife and I are currently watching it, and we're like right at the halfway point.
And I'll just say, Steve, in my opinion, is still the soft hero of Stranger Things.
Oh, I love Steve.
Yeah, and that character just gets better and better, in my opinion.
I was going to say this season is keeping going the love that bloomed in season 2.
Yeah,
between me and Steve.
Yeah, so. I'm really enjoying that, and it's interesting. I feel like as the viewer of our demographic, I would say he's our entry point into this world. Yeah. Maybe other characters are entry points for other demographics and viewers, and I think that's great that there are accessible characters, no matter who you are, know where you come from. And I just think it's probably still maybe the best written thing on TV.
Wow.
And just I will say, last part, it's probably the weakest of the 3 seasons, in my opinion.
Season 3.
Season 3.
Okay.
But still, I think the best written property out there right now.
Isn't it funny that you said best written thing on TV? And what a strange place TV is in right now.
Yes. Yeah.
What is TV anymore?
TV to me is anything I watch on my TV.
Yeah.
That's
and that's what to me now. TV is just like series. There's movies and then there are series.
Yeah, there are movies and series. Yes,
because you don't even need a TV.
You don't
to watch TV anymore.
Oh, I love. Did we talk about that in the previous midstream about Game of Thrones? and how like the issue is people didn't know how to program their TVs and they were watching on internet connected devices. Yes, we talked about that.
Oh boy.
Like, oh, still one more time. Fuck that guy. Whew.
I gotta say, we joked in Spider-Man about the new 400 Years War, and I think we are on the cusp of the streamers war, because all of these things are coming out. All of these streaming platforms are really starting to come out hard now.
Yeah,
and pull back from where they are currently. You know, like Netflix is losing a bunch of stuff.
It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I think Netflix will be the last streaming service standing when the dust settles.
I agree too. I think they've built up too much
and
credibility, and they're pumping out good stuff.
They are. And internationally, there are a lot of regulatory laws that just don't allow terrestrial broadcasting companies to have proprietary branded streaming services. And so Netflix is the distributor of virtually every proprietary platform in the EU, in the UK. Like, there's no CBS app in the EU. Netflix is the distributor. So it's like, this really is just another, I hate to like bring real world into our fake worlds, but this really is just like the unregulated predatory wasteland of like corporate money and lobbying within our like wholly corrupt government. Because
I just felt everyone tune out.
I hate to go there, but it really is. I mean, if you look internationally, there are 3 streaming services around the world. And in the United States, like every corporation has their own proprietary streaming blend. I think it's really awesome that the CW like created their thing, but kept it free. Like, kudos to them. And I hope they continue to do that, because it's the only way I can watch their content. I don't have cable, and the only way I can watch their content is through their app or over my terrestrial antenna. But my local CW affiliate station is no more. So I really can only watch it through their app.
Wow.
And I think it's amazing that their show is popular enough with the demographic they're going to that they can sell advertising content and keep their app free.
Yeah.
And when a company like CBS, I think, is just bullshit when they put their subpar shows behind a paywall, and diehards of a property will pay for it because they because of some loyalty to a brand or a franchise.
Right.
And I'll get off my soapbox there.
Okay. All right. I have less to say other than I feel like a settler standing in St. Louis, looking west, knowing that I have to get to California, but between here and there's a lot of hardship. It's the Wild West out there.
Well, Sketch, I know how to ride a horse and rehandle an axe, so I think we're going to be okay.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Well, speaking about streaming services, should we talk about next week's episode?
Well, before we do that, can I just talk about 2 other things that I saw recently that I'm very excited about?
News? Okay.
Yeah, there's more news. Thor 4. Tiako Waititi. I always say his name incorrectly. The best friend in Green Lantern, director of Thor Ragnarok. There's going to be a Thor 4. Tiaka is on board to write and direct. Chris Helmsworth is like, hell yeah, I'm on board. It's like, just like as soon as they approach me, hell yeah, I'm on board. So like, Bro Thor as Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't know what it's going to be, what they're going to do, but it looks like it's happening. And I love that Chris Helmsworth has found a new love of this character.
Yeah.
And that they allowed this character to grow and change in the way that it did.
It'll be interesting. This will be our first Thor movie, you would imagine, without Loki.
Right?
Because even though Loki is... there is a Loki in existence.
Right.
It's a different time splinter.
It should be a splinter reality Loki. And maybe not even in the same reality as this Thor.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. You know what that reminds me of, though?
What's that?
I saw online, I'm so sad I didn't realize it while I was watching Spider-Man, but someone pointed it out online that this was our first Marvel movie
Yeah,
without
a Stan Lee cameo. Yeah.
So we've reached that sad point.
We have.
Inevitable.
Inevitable, yes.
But here it was.
Yeah.
Here it was.
You know, all things grow and change and end. Sketch.
Yep. Just thought it was worth.
Yeah, it was nice to. Good on you. We didn't talk about that in the episode.
Yeah.
And so there's Thor 4 and Space Jam 2 with LeBron James.
Yes, I have heard about Space Jam 2.
I recently saw Space Jam 2 somehow. It was on a television somewhere that I was.
Wait, Space Jam 2 is
I'm sorry, Space Jam. I recently saw Space Jam.
Okay.
Someone was watching it. I can't remember where.
Classic with Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's I don't know if I'd call it a classic sketch.
I would call it a childhood classic.
Okay, yeah.
I think
sure.
many people of our generation grew up with that one.
I mean, I just have to ask the question, why the fuck would you accept yet another challenge from like intergalactic aliens or anybody with how precarious that all almost turned out?
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Jordan almost wound up in intergalactic slavery.
Well, will this be a sequel or will it be a reboot?
Well, they're calling it Space Jam 2. LeBron James is going to be taking Michael Jordan's place.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
From the limited amount I know about sports.
Yeah, but they just lost their director and there's a new director stepping in. So
oh boy. Okay.
We'll see how that pans out.
We will anxiously await news on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I've got for this week's sketch.
All right. Well, I do hear doodle stirring.
I do, yes. So should we talk about where we're going next week?
Let's talk about where we're going next week.
Where are we going next week, Sketch?
Well, longtime listeners, we are going everywhere in the great beyond. A classic battle of good and evil played out here on Geeking Out with Shades and Sketch.
I'm guessing you're talking about Good Omens.
All right. So, guys, that's the Amazon series. The you almost want to call it a mini-series because it's only 6 episodes.
It is a mini-series. It is a proper mini-series by my
very,
count.
Very doable to watch.
Yeah. You can absolutely get it done between now and then.
Absolutely. And we're going to break it apart. We're going to talk about it. There's a lot to talk about with Good Omens.
Yeah. And we're going to hash it all out next week.
Yeah.
Right here.
Right here.
So,
with Shades and Sketch.
Should we get back to it, Sketch?
I think we should.
All right.
Slam this thing and go. See what I did?
Well done.
See what I did there? Yeah. And, guys.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next week.